Hello, everybody. Checking in here today. So we're going to start our discussion about the book we're reading, Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. We should have read up to page 51 so far and completed the Nearpod lesson and the commonlit.org poetry assignment. So if you haven't done that yet today, go ahead and get that done so you don't fall too far behind. What we're going to do today and going into tomorrow and finishing up on Friday is a discussion on Flipgrid about what we've been reading so far. So I've got a couple topics that'll get us starting, get our discussion started. First is the poem that Achebe chooses to quote in the prologue to the novel. You should have read it on commonlit.org and answered some of the multiple choice questions and open response questions there. I gotten to think about it in terms of what are the themes and the messages of the poem. And usually when an author quotes a poem at the beginning of a novel, it usually gives the reader some clues as to what are the themes going to be and what the plot may be going into the book. So one question for our discussion is that you can answer in our Flipgrid is what do you think Achebe was trying to hint at when quoting this poem? Right. So you've read the poem, and if you haven't already, go ahead and read it and answer the questions on commonlit.org and kind of think about make a prediction about what's going to happen to our main character Okonkwo based on the themes in the poem. So what's going to happen to Okonkwo and all the other characters? That leads me into our next topic, which is Okonkwo. Like, what kind of another question for our discussion is what kind of person is he? What kind of person would he be today? Obviously, and is that even fair for us to um, make that comparison of what kind of person he may be today? Obviously, he's very violent person, and he wouldn't fit in very well. But are there other ways? But us judging him from our perspective makes us think about, should also make us think about how our society treats women and how our reactions to women's violence are very much gendered and valued differently. So how do we is it fair for us to judge him being in that kind of very patriarchal meaning masculine based society, um, and how it makes us kind of reflect on how society treats women and violence against women. And do we treat it in kind of a similar manner? Do we have certain gender roles that kind of prejudice give us, have us make us have prejudices when it comes to like sexual violence and things like that, and also even sexual violence against men too, right? Because we have certain gender expectations that kind of make us go, oh well, he should have liked it or something like that when a male victim of sexual assault comes forward. So it allows us to kind of reflect on our own society. So go ahead and you can talk about that, and you can choose to talk about that in your Flipgrid video too, if you are so moved to do so, making those connections between Okonkwo's character and maybe somebody in the news today. And of course, themes of masculinity. Is Okonkwo kind of an example of toxic masculinity? And do some of the gender expectations that are in his tribe are the same, for us today? And then, of course, his father, Unoka. I'm gonna trip over these names. Unoka. What kind of a person was he? Was he obviously uh, Okonkwo was trying to be the opposite of his father. So, what kind of person was he? Why is he not valued? Does he provide his tribe with other things that is also valuable? Um, and what kind of person would he be in today's society, right? Would he meet kind of our gender expectations now? I mean, I know everything's sort of just been in flux for the past couple of decades, but it's an important question to ask. Also, it's good to note that what kind of culture Achibe is trying to show us here, right? And what and he does a good job of not like romanticizing the kind of tribal African life pre-colonialization, and he's showing us both the great and beautiful parts and the not so great, um, very kind of mm, bad parts of African tribal life, right? And it's also important to note the tribe's gender roles, right? They're very almost, well, in some ways they're very strict in terms of what males are expected to do, but at the same time there are certain people who kind of break those gender boundaries, and perform roles that are outside of that, right? And it's important to note that the tribe, though, is ruled by elders, by male elders, is also, if you notice, they worship a female god, and the oracle and the priestess for the oracle is also female. So it's not a strictly patriarchal society. Um, and then, of course, we have the two other characters, the sons of Okonkwo, which the adopted son, Iki, Iki, Ikemfuna, and Nuowe. Ooh, difficult names to pronounce, right? What what kind of things are going on there with them? What kind of so the adopted son, he's come in from another tribe, and he's more masculine than uh, Noe, Nyowe. And what and he and his real son is kind of more a little bit more effeminate. As we go on, we'll see kind of how those characters develop and what kind of happens to them. So go ahead, if you want, make kind of like a prediction about what do you think may happen with those characters too. So there's lots to discuss going into our flip grid today. Um, and so the rules of engagement here are: you make a video just saying what you've noticed, you're right, your initial thoughts on a couple of chapters. Okay, that's first part. And then go ahead and pose a question to the class that people may respond to. Like maybe you're curious or kind of unclear about something, right? So your Flipgrid video should have two parts, right? Your initial thoughts about one of the topics I've covered here, and also include a question for the rest of the class. It can either be a like, I think this, what do you guys think? Or like, I predict this, do you think this is plausible? Or what is the deal with this character? So your Flipgrid video should be very short, and it should have those two parts in it. I hope you guys are having a great time. Just uh, taking a break at home, and hope everybody has uh, a good time trying to fight through this time. Anyways, so I'll see you on the flip grid. Hope to have a good discussion. So this flip grid is going to be open pretty much until Friday. So you'll have from now until then, and then so as we go through the next couple of weeks, I have you'll by Friday you should read to page 86. Page 86 in your book. That is going to land you right at the end of chapter 9. So that should be. Anyways, have a great time.